Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where Laff and me, we're in the hot seat again today, and looks like a good show we got today. We're going to have some very interesting stuff on Gold Circle.
Absolutely. We're speaking to Ken Twiddell to find out what goes into all these marketing and eventing and how they get their theme each year for Vodacom Durban July Day. It's a lot goes into it. We'll be talking to him. And any of your Man United mates been crowing?
Yeah, but they would crow because Gerard, I couldn't believe what he did. But
the red mist came down, unfortunately.
You boys won, we won.
Yeah.
So at least two good teams won.
Yeah, the two good teams.
The bad teams all got beaten. Chelsea were the luckiest team I've ever seen to win. They should never have won.
Never have won.
I would have loved to have seen Hull give them something to go on with. Right, but anyway, let's go on to the racing news. We've got a couple and three to follow. We were hoping to chat to Mike de Kock in Current Affairs, where we'll find out everything that's going on in Dubai.
And they are off in the Travers. Flower Alley is the winner.
His dad, Distorted Humor, he's probably one of his best sons at stud.
I'll have another. Wins the Derby. I'll have another in the Preakness.
Lilacs and Lace, 48-1 upset.
He's just a big, strong, leggy horse.
Right, Val, 17th of March, first race. Let's go and pick up Vaughan Marshall's runner, Varumba. This looks like it's certainly worth following. I think it can run a bit.
Yeah, the talk was out that this horse could run Varumba, and the first three letters give it away. Slightly slow out the gate, and off very quickly is Saraba. Now, Saraba had a bit of support as well, and the talk was that this Varumba would beat it. Saraba's gone quickly down the inside. Varumba's got into the race quietly, and if you watch this race, you thought at all stages the money was right and Varumba was going to win when it tackled Saraba, but lurking a few lengths off them is Empress Lass.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Lucky Hoodlockus had three horses in the race. I listened to the preview. He wasn't confident about any of them. But this filly, Empress Lass, run a very, very good race. But I think the front two really went out and cut each other's throats, which allowed something to run on from behind. Look at them now. They're going head and head. Empress Lass and Saraba and Varumba at least, and you'll see Empress Lass come late.
Yeah, it comes late. Empress Lass was Fish Sturgeon, and for me it couldn't win.
Here it comes now.
Here it comes running on to third. Here at this stage, well, the race, Varumba's got it, a very good, the money was down, it had found support, sort of 2-1 favourite. And here I said, well, this is Vaughan Marshall had given people confidence, said, well done, he's tipped to winner, but Empress Lass.
Steamed home, absolutely steamed home. And she might be a very nice filly, Empress Lass. We'll certainly have a look at her. But if you want to follow one next time, Varumba looks like an absolute blinder. We're going to the next one of our three to follow, and we're going to Kenilworth, 22nd of March, and go to the maiden juvenile plate. More Than Grand, this Australian. Have a look at this one.
Yeah, this looked an interesting race. They were taking the juveniles over 1,400 metres at Kenilworth. And the horse we found runs in Hassan Adams' famous grey and blue silks, and you can see them in the middle. Now this horse gets pushed along. Your eventual winner is a very nice horse too called Jet Air, who's come around them to get into second place, and that's in Marsh Shirtlift's colour. So being scrubbed along. Look at Hassan's horse being scrubbed along, More Than Grand, doesn't know what's going on. The eventual winner, as I said, is in second. But the horse we found...
And he's taking a pull on the eventual winner. Look, he's taking a pull, and the other horse is completely off the bit, not knowing what's going on. So, yeah. You know, the horse of Marsh's at one, Jet Air, I think is a very nice horse. But the way this horse, More Than Grand run, he looks like he's going to be a big, backward, latecomer. But he probably needed to get out there and learn what it's all about, and we'll learn a lot from this race.
He's gone from second last to third last, but they're going a good gallop, and the winner, as I say, looks a very nice horse, Jet Air. Imperial Dancer runs a good race for Brett Crawford, and that was also well supported. So the top two well supported in the betting, but there was a little bit of money for this horse, More Than Grand, and you can see it's now second last. It doesn't know what it's doing.
Big, long striding horse. Richard Fareed trying his best to get him to pick it up, and now gives him a smack or two. Bassie's horse is absolutely gone for home. And he runs on nicely, this horse, but he looks like a big stayer. He just doesn't, there's no speed in him, and expect him to become a racehorse probably as a 3-year-old and over a bit of ground, but he might be well worth thinking about including in all your inclusions down the line. Right, next lot we got to follow.
Yeah, now we've got a lot to follow. We're going over to have a look at another horse, and this is lot 252 we're going to show you, which is for the upcoming, I should say, sales. Urapa.
Well, let's get the sale right first. There's the National Yearling Sales.
National
Yearling Sales at Germiston. There's another one of the Vulgabostriff.
Yeah, the National Yearling, and this is by Tiger Ridge out of Loop, and as you remember, Loop won I think 3 races. Very useful filly, and
she's stakes place, Loop, but
yes.
This is the family of horse chestnut.
Yes.
And this is a real
sports chestnut, horse chestnut,
yeah. And
also it's had a foal already, and that's Antwerp. Antwerp's no slouch too. It races down this part of the world.
Yeah, with the pullers.
That's right.
I think they've got him. He's quite a nice horse, but this looks like a real scopy colt. And he's lot 252 on the National Yearling Sales. Pencil him in, go and have a look at him. I think he might be a nice racehorse. This horse got nice short cannons. Just a lot I liked about him. From the Vulgabostriff band of horses at the National Yearlings, that's middle of April, 20th to 24th of April, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of April. I got the catalogue, but I got so many things on it here that I don't know whether I'm boy or girl, but anyway, at least I got Laff, who's a girl, next door to me.
That's right, I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still here. So can we move on and have a look and see what we got? Oh, we got just let's have a look at this. We've got one in the Blast from the Past. This is the 1996 Classic. See if you can pick up who won it without Raymond strapping the bottom, but he will strap it, so there's nothing we can do about it. So you can all be clever. Let's go and have a look at the 1996 SA Classic.
Are open, soft falling rain, pulling clear, soft falling rains won the SA Nursery by 3.
Racing in the 2,000 guineas. Gates fly and they're racing in the Godolphin Mile.
They're off and racing.
Weight didn't matter. Class tells, soft falling rain, much too good. Soft falling rain, an impressive guineas winner. Soft falling rain is drawing clear.
He's made it 7 out of 7 by winning here today.
But it's soft falling rain who is powering away. We'll see out the mile in style. A high-class performer wins the Nay of Joel Stakes.
Shack as we move on to the second of the double headers on Saturday and the Classic.
On the inside, Cape Hunt began pretty well though and has the lead from Nebulizer in second. Count Pavley's on a hard old third. London News is getting up on his outside, and Surf Fader's Son and Jeff Lloyd passing horses as well. Choreographer is back there at the rail. The black sleeves about 3 off the leader. Super Quality's doing a little wide early. He's 3 off them. Decipher in the yellow behind those. Then comes Dance on Wood in behind those runners, and Blackjack tees the trailer as the field now makes their way down towards the 1,200-metre marker. And Nebulizer's in front, setting a mediocre pace and has it by 3/4 of a length to Surf Fader's Son in second. On the outside, London News is going to speed things up now, and London News races to the 1,000-metre marker, and he's gone to the front. Striker straight and taken into the front now in the Classic. So London News, as you can see in shot, leads it by 1.25 now as they're about to take that first bend there from Surf Fader's Son. In behind that Nebulizer. Count Pavley still on a hard hold. He's only 3 behind the leader. Cape Hunter's in behind them, and then comes Super Quality, and the green is 5 lengths behind the leader. Decipher is further back with Choreographer. In behind that, Dance on Wood and Blackjack T. They about to swing for the judges in the Classic. 500,000 rand, and London News sets sail for home now. He's got a gap on them and goes by 2.5 lengths clear. A Nebulizer. The grey Count Pavley trying to get away through, running on Super Quality. Got to get to London News, who's gone 4 lengths clear now with 2:50 to go. London News, a big leader in the Classic. Surf Fader's Son is coming out of the pack, but London News inside the last 100 is still clear, and he's got the Classic at his mercy, and it all because of Pierce Stradum. He rode the great race today on London News. Took him to the front of the...
Well, London News, what a racehorse he was.
Absolutely. He was the first horse to really fly the flag for us internationally. And Alec did a great job for him for the Jaffies.
Yeah.
And he was a very good horse.
Oh, he was a fantastic horse. And we caught up with David Raphael in Australia.
Yeah.
The pride of South Africa. Wasn't it fantastic?
Yeah, fantastic, yeah.
It was a tremendous win, and thanks again to Byron Foster for all this footage. It's just fantastic going back in time and having this footage. I don't think anyone else has got it, so you know, it's really good. Is fantastic of them to have put together this archive for us. We're going to go and have a look at the plum of the week.
Chetri Pink's now starting to warm up on the outside, only got 2 lengths to make up. Walking on air, comes to the 200, the leader, Chetri Pink is in full cry. And Chetri Pink loves the wet going and is going to absolutely annihilate them. Chetri Pink under Gavin Larena can ease over the line, got it one easy. 2 lengths, Walking on Air, Gold Cup Girl, Classic Illusion, Dashing Scarlet, Negev, Moggy 2 Shoes.
Well, this filly was 2-1 before there was a thunderstorm. Once there's a thunderstorm, if you're a gambler with any knowledge of this business, this filly loves the wet.
Yeah, those half-held thunder showers play havoc with the races. You never know when they're going to come, and it backfires on some horses and elevates some horses' chance. And Chetri, as you know, bit of cut in the ground, she's very good.
She's actually legs better with cut in the ground, and you could have got 15-10 at any time with Interbet about Chetri Pink. And she's, if it's wet, remember this filly. She's really well worth following. If it's wet, you've got to go and have a look at her. Let's go and have a look at current affairs. We've got some really interesting stuff. We've got a big race from Australia, and we'll get to chat to Mike de Kock, and we've got a couple of little video clips you might like.
We're on the countdown then for this large field.
He's their sprinting champion there, and he's going to clash with ours.
They are ready.
Gates open.
And they're racing.
The gates are back and they're off to the roar of the crowd.
Gates fly and they're racing in the Godolphin Mile.
Iridescence rolls on for South African.
600 metres left to go, and JPEG is the leader.
National Colour is the leader.
Gypsy's Warning, who is closing with every stride.
Victory Moon out in the clear.
National Currency in front.
Variety Club by 3 parts of a length. Shay delivering his charge.
London News, the pride of South Africa, goes to the lead.
Sun Classic gets a run through in the middle.
Iridescence in front.
Variety Club's going great guns inside the 100 metres. Vercingetorix gets away. Easy winner. JJ, he won't go away. JJ, the jet plane.
And London News, he's everything they said, and he wins.
Lizard's Desire squares the lecture and gets there by a neck.
JPEG the outside. JPEG.
South Africa raw. Iridescence gets the winner.
National Colour, much too good.
Gypsy's Warning.
Shay wins the Elgos sprint. Soft falling rain, an impressive Guineas winner.
Crimson Bells has won it.
But JPEG wins the cup.
Variety Club wins the Godolphin Mile. Second, Soft falling rain.
The 1-2 for South Africa.
No horse has run faster.
He's made it 7 out of 7 by winning here today.
What a dominant performance.
We couldn't have written a better script. What a fantastic race.
A delighted South African contingent there, and it's a big night for them. They've done well here in the past, of course, but they use this meeting to showcase the talent that they have there, and they've got a treasure chest of it down there, that's for sure.
Louis the King is about 10 lengths off the leader, and Legislate now looking to do the work in front.
Batura gets driven into the lead.
Louis the King blasts them away,
And Legislate has won it.
Louis the King did it.
Batura wins the JMB event.
Louis the King stays king.
Now won 5.3 million rand for a 50-odd thousand rand purchase. A fairy tale story for the owners.
Right, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs. And as James said earlier in the show, that we're going to get Michael de Kock on the phone. And it's the big week, Dubai weekend coming up. And we've got Michael with us. Mike, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Clearly, Mark. Thanks very much for taking time out to talk to us. It's the big week. The gang are flying out tonight. And James, you've got a couple of good questions from.
Well, we got 7 on the night from your yard, Mike, and obviously this morning was the big morning. They did all their work. Everything go according to plan.
Fortunately, James, yeah, they all seem to be in good order.
Excellent. And what would you rate as the real life chances? I know you're not going in there thinking that you're not going to do anything with any of them, but the Derby looks like a big one.
Yeah, the Derby, it's very competitive. I don't think there's much between Maftul, Mukti and Surf Fever. Then there's the Japanese horses we don't really know much about. Fairly good form. Probably one of my livest wires is Alpen Peace in the staying race. I was impressed the way he won here last time.
Mark, I've just read an article where the Hong Kong have flown out 6 and the Japs are flying out horses, and it's really become a competitive evening.
Oh yeah, listen, at the end of the day, it's probably, as close as it gets to the Olympics. And you can be no chinks in your armour. It's the big cash. Everyone wants it.
Absolutely, Mark. From a Natal perspective, a lot of people are looking at Via Africa because did so well down here. And you did say last time we spoke to you that she tightened up.
Yeah, she's doing very well. I mean, if I can get her to the race in the form that she's in, I mean, we've got another 5 days. She's a big runner. I like the way the fillies come on.
Yeah, and then one more I want to ask you about.
Tough race, obviously. I mean, everyone's got to speak to the race.
Sorry, carry on, Mark.
But she's improved at least what she was beating.
Oh, excellent. And then a horse like Pylon, that's got a run, hasn't it?
He's definitely a lot fitter and a lot tighter than last time. He's down quite a bit in the scale. And I like what I see with him too. Very tough race to win. There's Tamaku, the American horses. It's very, very tough. But I mean, I'd love to see the horse, running 3rd, 4th, 5th, that sort of area. Not inconceivable. Better luck in running. You never know.
Mike, the big news on the websites was that horse Hunter's Light hurt himself. He did a tendon apparently. Does that make a difference to you? Do you have anything there?
That's Gio's race. Gio's in very, very good form. He's fit, he's well. I don't know. He wasn't in Hunter's Light league, but he did run a good second team. So he also, the horse has had a very good trip. He walks out of his box an hour and a half before, where he might not be the best horse in the field. He's in very good condition, in very good nick. He's happy and he's fit. He's a horse that could run under his skins.
Well, from us, we'll be seeing you tomorrow, but for the rest of South Africa, they'll be watching on the television. But I think your biggest problem is to keep Johnny Gerodis in good form till Saturday. Is that possible?
Well, it's to keep him out of the manger. That's the key thing. He's got to ride 57, and the amount of time he spends in the park, we now nicknamed him Wonder.
I would put him on the treadmill for an hour and a half. Have a good one, Mike. As you know, as always, the whole of South Africa is with you, and thanks so much for joining us again, and enjoy.
Cheers. Thanks, James. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Right, Mike de Kock. Wow,
yeah, wonderful to get to speak to him, and the gang are going out to see him, and he's just so accommodating, and he always seems to produce one on the night for the gang, and they'll all be there supporting him. And but let's move on to a race that is, for the 2-year-olds, the richest 2-year-old race in the world at the moment is the Golden Slipper, which is run out at Rosehill, and it's always a tough race, and it was won this year by a horse called Vancouver, who's now 4 for 4, probably the best young horse in Australia, beaten the stablemate, a filly called English. But they both come from Gay Waterhouse's stable, and she's now won this race 6 times, same as her illustrious father. But let's have a look at this race, and James and I'll talk about it. It was drawn badly. The horse is called Vancouver.
And the gates are about to open. They're off and they're racing. And getting it off to a good start was Headwater together with Speak Fondly, and immediately Haybar dashes through, and Haybar's going to take up the early lead. Hapnik goes to second, Furnace is back to third from Speak Fondly, then Headwater from Lake Geneva. Further back to Vancouver is better than midfield, and Berry looking to get a spot in. Behind him is Ready to Victory, followed then by English. Well back is Serenade, drifting back Odyssey Moon from Exosphere has got 4 behind him. Fireworks, Ottoman, Single Gaze, and Remar's been taken back to the tail of the field. Haybar leads inside the 550 metres from Haptic the outside. Speak Fondly in third. Furnaces tucked away just behind them. Headwater under pressure, and Vancouver is inching closer now as they turn the corner. And it's Haybar just the leader from Haptic in second. Headwater trying hard from Speak Fondly. Now Vancouver, English, and right down the outsiders ready for victory. It's Vancouver and English racing to the front. Headwater fights on. Furnaces has got the run on the inside, ready for victory. Wide out, it's Vancouver with his head in front from English, and Vancouver, the favourite, roars away for Tommy Berry. Vancouver wins the slipper from English, and Lake Geneva flashing home into third. Then Furnaces from Headwater. Further back to Serenade, Odyssey Moon, Ottoman from Single Gaze, ready for victory. Haptic weakened out, followed by Rima, Haybar, and Exosphere didn't get into the race. Vancouver takes out the slipper. Vancouver, the favourites, won it. Trained by Gay Waterhouse and ridden by Tommy Berry. Lovely ride by Tommy from the wide draw. Got him into a terrific position, and he was close enough turning for home.
Well, there we go, 35 million rand up for a stake. And James, wonderful for the Berry family, having lost the brother Nathan, who was married to Glenn Schofield's daughter, I think it's Tiffany, and you losing him about a year ago. So it's wonderful for the family.
I think this horse is by the Shuttler Medaglia d'Oro.
It is, yes,
the horse
definitely.
He won the Dubai World Cup, this horse.
That's right. He's a very good stallion, James.
Yeah, and funnily enough, you could buy them first year on the Magic Million sales. You didn't have to pay a lot of money for them, and they were very, very nice horses. So there you go, just shows you. Just talking about the Australians, Japanese arrived in Australia, and when they won the George Parker Memorial, it's a Group 1 there, with something called Real Impact.
Yes.
So you know
the
Japanese,
all these Deep Impact. Deep Impact's been such a big influence in their stallions. Bear in mind, James, I think 4 of the top 5 horses in the history of the racing, stake money earned, are Japanese.
Well, that's the point being, they're cruising into Dubai with all their big guns. They went into Australia and won the big Group 1. You know, it's not easy to go and win in Australia.
Bit of a trip.
And they have got horses. So when you're structuring your bets, and I'm sure there'll be all types of bets on Saturday for the Dubai World Cup, remember the Japanese horses. Don't leave them out. They've had Heart Cry that's won there. They've really done extremely well.
They've had stars.
Just talking about stallions, shuttling Toronado, the High Chaparral, who Richard Hannon trained, who was unbeaten at 2. He's shuttling to Swettenham Stud in Australia.
He was. I think he stands at the National Stud now, so he's shuttling over to Swettenham Stud. I think Swettenham Stud is the Sangster Stud. But James, talking about horses again, I see Futura, our champion horse, has moved stables.
Yeah, he's moved to Justin Snaith, so he's now got Futura and Legislate. Apparently there was a breakup between the partners, a disagreement. Ian Longmore was bought out by Jack Mitchell and John Freeman. And the headline said that it was because Ian's very close to Brett Crawford. It's sad for Brett because, and he's the one you've got to look at because he's done everything right with the horse. You know, from July last year to now, you couldn't have done more with the horse. Right. You know, he's just done everything. Champions Cup, Queen's Plate,
Yeah, he's
met,
the one you got to feel sorry for. Obviously, is him. You know, good luck to Justin Snaith. He had nothing to do with it. People fall out over things, but it's a tough call for a trainer like Brett Crawford. It's his leading horse for the season coming up here. He's coming up to Natal now. Suddenly they move it off to someone else to bring up here.
Yeah.
Tough pill to swallow.
There's a guy in Australia called Darren Smith who's a trainer. This guy's a beaut. He's got 42 Cobalt cases.
Yes,
against him.
he got hit hard.
Yeah. He's got 15 years or something.
He got 15 years, he's appealed it, and a vet has come forward and said he has supplied trainers Cobalt. I don't know if he's trying to clear his name or something. There's a vet in Australia who has come forward on it. So that's coming out of Australia at the moment.
I must tell you, these guys are so far ahead of the game, because I didn't even know anything about Cobalt, and suddenly it hit the headlines that all these guys are using Cobalt. You know, one wonders how.
Well, James, it's toxic. They
it
used it in humans in the 50s, and they found that the red blood cells were coming up, and they said, "Whoa, these guys are getting better. This is fantastic. You know, this is a wonder treatment. Give them Cobalt, and the elderly will come right, and they'll regenerate, and down the road they're sort of dying." And they found out they're toxic, so it must be the same in the horses. So it's outlawed.
It is quite toxic, apparently, to the horses. Not very good for them. Just quickly on the guys who we missed, who moved on to brighter pastures. Val Grantham.
Yes,
you know, he was a bookmaker here forever.
Very nice guy.
Very nice.
Very
White
nice
House bookmaking, I think, was his business.
It might have been, yeah. Very nice
guy. And then my uncle Derek, obviously,
who,
very
sad for you.
He loved racing and was a doyen.
Your dad's twin brother.
Yeah, he's been ill, so he passed on. But don't worry, he had a life that most people.
How old would he have been, James?
92.
So he had a good innings.
Yeah, he had a good innings. And the other guy who was also a polo player who passed away was Alan Jerkins, but he was a great trainer. Alan
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and they called him the Chief.
Yeah.
Fantastic racehorse trainer. I met him a couple of times in America. Yeah, they called him the Chief.
Called other trainers the Chief.
Big man, and loved playing polo. You know,
is that right? Was he a polo player?
Played polo till almost saw when
did he know the twins?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he knew them both well. Yeah.
So he was the youngest, I think, Hall of Famer at 42 or something.
Yeah.
Alan Jerkins, very good trainer.
A hell of a good trainer.
So there's been a few people that have passed on.
You know, never a really big trainer. He just had his little guys that he worked with and whatever. He was never one of the sort of Pletchers or the Baffetts or whatever, but he always gave them a go. He was famous for beating Secretariat with Onion. I think he beat Secretariat twice. Only twice he got beaten. And he beat another great racehorse as well with some sort of 100 to 1 shot, you know. So he wasn't scared to take them on, and he's left a legacy. He's got 3 sons, I think, 2 of them train. So, you know, that's good.
That's very, very good.
Yeah.
James, there was a sale over the weekend too, and James has got the stats for you. They had basically booked 2 from the Cape Thoroughbred sales, James. And this figure's slightly down, even though the median was up.
Yeah, the median was up. The average was down about 18%, and the sale was down about 27% in money. So it was interesting that that happened. I see that Mayfair investors...
Mayfair speculators.
Speculators, investors, they bought the top lot for a Noordhoek Flyer.
Lot 77 for 600 grand. Noordhoek Flyer's starting to make people sit up and notice. There must be some good ones around.
Very interesting. There must be, because they sold very, very well. But talking about good horses, Majmou's not running in the Phillies Classic. You're going up this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll be up there with Harry Sun.
with a couple of them.
Yeah,
I hear you're drawn in the bush. On the mine, you've got to get a run down the mine. Tell that Stratham that when he gets a kick off the edge of the mine dump, then's when he goes.
I'll pass that on.
Pass on the message to him.
Kick off the mine dump.
You've got a famous saying about him being wide. You know, what he'd rather hug than the rail.
Yeah.
So the thing is that everything's in your favour. There should be no race.
Give the outside to no one. No, Striker knows that track backwards, and we're happy, and the draw's part of racing. But it'll be interesting to watch the Phillies version without Marshmoo. I think our
some
friend,
jurisdictions.
Some jurisdictions, a massive runner.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race.
Great
be very
race.
Interesting.
Yeah, the go was
other filly, the
elusive Fort, yeah,
Silent Call.
She's
good.
Excellent filly.
And there are a couple there that look like they want to go a bit more ground. It's going to be a great day's racing. So you'll race at Turfentine, and then we'll move on and race in Dubai. And just Clyde Basil, I hear, is moving to Cape Town. I had a thought on
well
this.
Done,
actually.
Clyde.
Yeah.
Well done.
No, Clyde's moving to Cape Town to run Kenilworth Racing or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
The only thing that really worried me
What's that?
They're going to have to reinforce those stairs up to the commentary box if they want to get
Have
both
you
of
been
them.
to commentary
They want to
box
get
upstairs?
both of them in, Ravorn and Clyde, in that commentary box. Can you imagine?
I went up there, James. I went to the commentary box. You have to go into Peninsula Room.
Yeah.
And you cut past the chefs.
Yeah.
And you
well,
go.
they will get past the chefs, will they? Will they
That's
get,
the hard part for
That's
Clyde.
the hard
But
part.
once he gets through those rickety
Once he
stairs,
gets past the chefs,
he'll have commentated there. But then you go into this sort of, there's beams. I had to duck. I couldn't believe it. And I got up there. I went to go see
tall.
her.
Clyde's not that tall.
No,
okay.
he'll get it.
As
But
long
it's
as he
very,
can fit in.
it's a hell of a wooden passage. And then you get into the commentary box and you get Herbert Mulholland. I went to go and see Herbert.
Well, don't worry, Herbert won't be there when those two are in the box.
No.
He's not stupid, Herbert.
But, James, he's got a TV monitor there. It's a Blaupunkt that he got for his 21st. They've got to jack up that country. I take my hat off to the Cape Town commentators. I'd be scared of falling, never mind calling. You know, it's a hell of a spot. They've got to revamp that. Now, Clyde's in town. Clyde, sort out the commentary box.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Clyde's going to go up there and do a bit of commentary. But I'm going to get out of here, and we're going to leave you to Ken Tudell. We'll leave you with a short insert on Yellow Star Stud. It's quite an interesting little insert. Just a very short one, but you'll enjoy it.
All These Yearlings by Kildonan, winner of the Group 1 Premier's Champion Stakes and the Golden Horse Sprint and the Graham Beck Stakes. With very few runners, he has already produced Rosier, winner of the East Cape Fillies Nursery and the Group 2 Debutante Stakes, also placing in the Group 1 Alan Robertson Stakes. Kildonan also sires Beach Goddess, an exciting 3-year-old filly who has won 2 of her 3 starts. Lot 55, Cathay Ness by Kildonan out of Bahira. The dam is a half-sister to Flax, the winner of the Group 1 Raffles Cup in Singapore. This is a strong, compact and well-balanced chestnut filly. Her easy action and strong quarters indicate that she should be the sprinting type. Lot 122, Kimberley by Kildonan out of Diamond Collection. The Dam by Zelator, a half-sister to Clune Cara, who was champion 2-year-old filly in Italy. This strapping colt was certainly stamped by his sire Kildonan. This colt covers ground and has a great walk, complementing the whole picture. Lot 218, Rose and Thistle by Kildonan out of Julia's Rose. The Dam by Complete Warrior is a half-sister to the sire Divine Act. This filly is correct and has a lovely fluid action, scored well by the judges and should be well received at the sale. Lot 339, Kintyre by Kildonan out of Private Property. The filly is the 4th produce of the Dam Private Property, and is a half-sister to well-performed colt Abington, placed in the Group 3 Winter Guineas and the Group 2 Gold Circle Derby. She is also a half-sister to Hillbrow, placed in the Group 3 Tony Ruffle Stakes and the Secretariat Stakes. Lot 412, King of Scots, by Kildonan out of Star Tower. The Dam Star Tower is half-sister to Shah's Star, who's the winner of the Group 1 Cape of Good Hope Derby. This athletic colt has a fantastic walk and stands over ground. Half-brother to 4-time winner Sudafeni.
Happy Archer now, Anton Marcos pulls the trigger, and Happy Archer, silent calls come from nowhere. Happy Archer the last 100 and silent call. Happy Archer moving like the wind.
Welcome to another edition of Your Call. We've got Ken Twiddell who's going to talk to us, because this time of year, it's all stations go. We've got so many feature races coming up over the season, all culminating in the Vodacom Durban July. And Ken and his team have to put together ideas. They have to talk to the sponsors. They have to talk to the people involved about, especially the big day, what the theme's going to be. And Ken, thanks very much for coming in. We need to know where you're at now. Now there's busy time for you.
Yeah, it's frantic at the moment already. As I'd say, it's full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead.
Yeah.
Now you've got a team, and you do the eventing, you do the marketing. Before I even get on to that, a lot of people don't know, I played football with his brother. His brother was a great footballer. He was from Virginia, and he was really, Jeff Twiddell was a very good footballer. Where is Jeff today?
He's still in Durban North.
He's still there.
Just a matter of interest, my dad used to play football for Natal.
Is that right?
Yes,
so it's gone.
So
And
it's in
you?
the family. No,
no good.
Never went near it.
Have you or your brother got kids who play football?
My son doesn't play football.
I know a lot of people have gone away from it, you know, but excellent. So a sporting family you come from,
yes,
so you know the game now. Now, I just want to ask you, just digress slightly before we get on to other things, but the Vodacom Durban July is synonymous with big tents and marquees and that. Are you in any way involved in that?
I'm involved in most things to do with the Vodacom Durban July. I chair a meeting of all the staff at Greyville to make sure that everything is in its place. I don't actually make sure it's in its place, but I keep them on track, let's call it. I think that's probably the best way. They certainly do all the work. I just do the agenda and the minutes and chair the meetings. I chair the meeting of all the players, Vodacom, the PR agencies, the advertising agencies, the fashion people, keep them on track. So, yeah, it's sort of an overall...
So you chair everything. So you and your I'm going to use the term you and your team, because you've got to have a big team behind you to run these functions. So if I can delegate one department, anyone who's going to end up in a marquee, which they love, you sit with them and say, how many marquees, how many people, what are the ticket prices, all that?
Well, yeah, the marquees is handled by a company called Event World. They have the rights for the Marquee Village. They sell off all the marquees.
Well,
they do that.
Sherlock Holmes was involved in that for years.
That's exactly the same man.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So he's still involved.
We have very little to do with that, but obviously we promote wherever we can. We promote
do you tell them how much they've got to charge the tickets?
Entrance tickets is our baby, but what they charge in the marquees, that's depending on what their offering is. Yeah.
Correct, catering. And now, I'm just staying on the July for a moment. A group like One Stop who are involved in rugby, I see they have a big say on it.
They've had a big area for a long time, probably 10 years. I think it's a hospitality area. Same thing. They sell off. They determine what they're going to offer, and then they sell it off for their own profit, obviously. But they get us a lot of people. Yeah. Them and people like them.
Yes.
The Scott brothers, they also get us a lot of people.
Now, Scott brothers used to use upstairs. Do they still use upstairs?
They still use upstairs, and they use the big Boomtown area on the south side of DLI Avenue.
Boomtown area?
Boomtown is the massive Marquee Village, which is on the south side of DLI Avenue. So it's not part of Michael Holmes's setup.
Okay.
It's a totally different
setup. Is it music, Boomtown?
It's music. It's just entertainment in the extreme. They have about 5,000 to 6,000 people
all
in
ages?
their area.
Young people?
Yes, young people, yes.
Just talking
a lot
about
of Johannesburg people come
down. A lot of Joe people come down for that. And that's run by?
By Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott. He handles all that.
Yes.
When you actually sit, say, in the view room on Vodacom Durban July Day, there's this, near the big TV, there's like a bandstand there. Is that going to be utilised?
The stage.
You mean? Yeah, the stage.
Yeah, we bring in a stage every year
for
the July. It's a specialist stage. We have a stage underneath our big screen, which is not really suitable for what we do on Vodacom Durban July Day. The big stage that we have has a roof over it. On top of the roof is the SABC studio. So, it's quite a centre, a hub of all the sound and all the vision on the day. Yes.
So, okay, because every time I sit there, you always got fashion, people dressing up. And fashion's a big play on the day?
Fashion is huge on the day, as it is with any big race meeting throughout the world. And we use fashion a lot in the promotion of the Vodacom Durban July, because, as you know, the horses get entered, I think it's on the 15th of April, I think it is, or thereabout. But we start talking about fashion long before that. We're already speaking about fashion. So it gives us a much longer lead-in time to the day to attract more and more people. And people love the fashion.
Ken, the theme is always a big idea, and it's a very good idea. People get this months in advance, so they can go with it. And just before I tell them this year's theme, over the past few years, you've had different themes. Can you recall some of the themes you've used?
Yeah, we had Right Royal Affair, which was when the royals got married.
Yes.
We've had It's a Sure Thing, which was, in other words, racing terminology, your horse is a good thing, it's a sure thing, but it was all to do with the seaside, the beach and that sort of thing. That went off very, very well.
And now this year,
it's the captain's table.
It's a lovely idea that because I've been on cruise ships and that you get out there and you say, well, the captain's dinner or the captain's table, it's a dress-up thing.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. For the last couple of years, since Right Royal Affair, we've tried to encourage people to dress posher, basically.
Yes.
So all the themes from then on have had an element of dressing posh. This year, Captain's Table, I don't know whether you've noticed, but Greyville has been painted blue and white over the last couple of years. We're now nearing the point where it's going to be 100% blue and white. And about 3 months ago, I had a look at it. I thought, this place looks just like a ship. Like with those massive ocean liners that go around the Caribbean. And that's where the start of the idea came from. And then it sort of goes around in my head for a long time. I don't know how it works up there, but eventually one day I get to work and I write the scene.
So once it's gone through the labyrinth of your mind, it gets there and you bring the teams together and say, this is what we're going up with this year, ideas.
Yes. No, well, yes, but basically the theme I just do and then I present it to everybody and then everybody from that. But clearly when I'm doing the theme, I'm thinking about all the different aspects of the day. I wouldn't come up with a theme that didn't suit the event.
Sure. Now, let's talk about the captain's table. If we're in a scenario where a guy says, I'm going to dress up, I really enjoyed it. It's great fashion, it's great, and I've got a couple of runners and I'm going to have my fins up in one of the rooms here. Would you suggest they dress blue and white, or would you suggest tuxedo? Or
I think quite honestly it's whatever you would wear to the captain's table. Captain's table is generally tuxedos, but it's not always. It's generally just very, very posh.
Very posh.
I'm expecting, though, a lot of people to come dressed posh, particularly the people that are very involved with the fashion. But I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of nautical themed dressing as well. You know, I can imagine a whole lot of people coming dressed as sailors or a whole lot of captains rushing around the race course on the day. We can't stop that. It's all about the fun of the day.
And if you have dressed as a sailor, it's easy to get your kit off to run in the 13th. You can get your kit off quickly, get down there, 13th race, synonymous with Greyville and Vodacom. Oh, I wonder if we'd have it if we had the Queen visit one year, I don't know. But anyway, that's another story. Let's talk about all the venue functions. Now let me just touch on the Elan Group. They've come in and sponsored the Gold Cup, and they've also got involved with a lot of these function rooms.
Yes, Elan basically are at Greyville, and they run all non-race day functions and all the facilities throughout Greyville Racecourse. And they are coming up with some great ideas because they're specialists in it, and they've got they're fully manned to run that type of thing. They then, because of their involvement with us, sponsor the Elan Property Group Gold Cup.
Have their offices here?
Their offices are upstairs in the same room that Stuart Scott occupies on Vodacom Durban July Day. They've subdivided it slightly. They have their offices up there.
So how many people? That's a pillar-free room, I should say. A pillar-free room that can take up to 1,000 people.
1,000 people, yeah.
That's an amazing.
It's an excellent facility.
Have you ever seen it full?
On Vodacom Durban July Day, it's full. Absolutely, it's jam-packed.
Jam-packed, and they've got their TV up, and they've got
TVs,
their totes, their toilets, aircons.
Absolutely everything. They're really spoiled up there.
Are they subdividing it this year?
Generally, it's an open venue, but they subdivide it with raised platforms and little fences and things like that. So everybody is basically in a big room, but their sections are subdivided. So as a company, if you want 50 seats, you can have a little section.
Yes.
But it's not divided by walls and things like that.
Okay, so it's an open plan.
Yeah, it's an open plan type.
Is there a way of looking out over the course?
There's a balcony right across the front of the room with magnificent views of the whole the race course, the golf course.
It's a prime spot to race from.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's at the 250 sort of mark.
I prefer
but I promise you, when the jockeys come around the corner, you can hear them shouting at the horses, and you can hear them urging.
Cracking.
Yeah, on Vodacom Durban July Day maybe you can't because the crowd is shouting as well.
Yeah.
But it's a really exciting part of the race course.
And every year the Vodacom Durban July seems to get bigger all the time, Ken. And are all our function rooms taken?
Yeah, I mean, I think booking opened on the 1st of March, and within 20 minutes they were full. It's just we have a limited number of function rooms when you talk about Vodacom Durban July Day.
So where do you operate from on the big day?
I'm generally from my office and all around. I go back to my office because I do a number of radio interviews during the day, and what I generally try and do is if people want to interview me, I tell them I'll be in my office in 10 minutes, and then you can't do them anywhere else on the race course. But generally, I'm all over the place.
Okay, let's have a minute with our sponsors. Here we are, Magic Millions successful graduates, Endearment winning the other day, and this is a reduced choice. They won very well the other day. So that's your winner from Magic Millions, Endearment. Right, let's get back to Ken. We're talking about the Vodacom Durban July Day, and we're also talking about the rest of the season. But while we're on a good chord here with the Vodacom Durban July Day, people come in and start renovating and doing up whatever it is, if it's drapes or what have you. Do they come in a long way before the big day?
They generally start about, well, marquees start going up about 4 weeks before.
4 weeks?
4 weeks, yeah. Obviously, Michael Holmes evolved again. He's got the double-decker marquees, which take quite a while to put up. Those are the ones that generally go up first. But I guess the decor probably starts happening about 10 days before, building to a frenzy 2 or 3 days before. And then the people on the golf course, they only get, the marquees only start going up there on the Thursday. So that is a frantic rush, and generally what you find is a lot of those people work right through the Friday night to prep their marquees for the Saturday morning.
Now, a big thing has become the bright areas on Friday night. Will they be there?
They won't be at the Vodacom Durban July, but they will be at other events during the champion season.
It's a big plus, that, isn't it?
It's
children's area.
It's just amazing. I mean, it's just people
buying.
It's
a great pub.
It.
People throw their kids on the trampoline.
Yes. It's great.
Right, now that sums up Vodacom Durban July Day. Before I move off it, have you had any potholes in the road over the years? Come July Day, say, no, this is gone.
Okay, my first Vodacom Durban, it wasn't Vodacom, it was a Rothmans July in those days.
Yes.
I was obviously very new at this, and that was the year that there was an objection, spacewalk. So we were all happily walking on the track there, and then the next minute the hooter went, and that threw things into a bit of chaos. And again, last year, my 21st Vodacom Durban July,
boom,
another objection. It messes everything up because you have everything planned down to the last second. And then something like that happens, and you can't plan for an objection. You have to believe that it's going to be a clean race. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I think we had a band come down the track and national anthems. How does
that we've been doing that quite a lot lately. The Tattoo came back to Durban about 3-4 years ago, and they're very happy for us to get involved with them. We do a little bit of pre-advertising for them for their tattoo, which happens a few weeks later, and then they allow us to use whatever bands and marching squads that they have in Durban.
Is security a problem on the big day? I know it might not be your department, but
no, look, security is a concern rather than a problem.
Yes.
But we have a huge force of security people on track here. Yeah. Many in plain clothes, many in uniforms. And it's obviously very important to us. There's a lot of money around on that day, a lot of cell phones around on the day.
You want people to feel safe?
We want people to feel safe, yeah.
Okay, now, Ken, you've also got other great sponsors that make up your champion season. The champion season is just something to be. But let's start with the Rising Sun. They are fantastic. Now, there used to be such a big fanfare at Clarewood, which obviously has been sold and moved on.
Yes.
They bring their troop of people here.
Yes.
That's something to work with. Is it still Vijay Maharaj?
It's still Vijay and his brother Ranesh. They're very much involved.
They're big, eh?
Massive day. Looking forward to having it. We are looking forward to having it here at Greyville, and hopefully they are looking forward as well. We've had many pre-planning meetings with them. They're having the Bollywood stars, which they normally have.
Fantastic.
And other entertainment. They entertain thousands of senior citizens on the day. They provide them all the lunch, so they generally not here the whole day, but they come in and they leave, and then the next lot come in and they leave.
Fantastic.
I think about 40 market stalls selling mainly food and drink and that
sort of thing. Those are fantastic.
It just gets the people. Yeah,
it gets people, and you've got a variety of what you can eat.
Yes,
and some of those Indian dishes are outstanding.
Absolutely.
People queue up, and it's a great idea. So Rising Sun's just getting bigger and better.
Yeah, and look, we're hoping that everybody that went to Clarewood is also going to come here. Perhaps we will even pick up more people from this area, the areas around Greyville. And we are looking forward to that one.
All right, now let's talk about other sponsors. What about the KRA? We've still got that agreement with it.
Yes, it's a twinning agreement with South Korea. We send a delegation over to their race meeting called the Gold Circle Handicap, I think it is. They send a delegation here. We learn from each other.
What do they like to deal with?
Yeah, they're great fun. I mean, obviously there's the language difficulty, but they generally have an interpreter. And we normally have a function after the event at a restaurant or something like that, and it's amazing how a few glasses of wine tends to make you understand Korean better.
I'm good at Swahili after a few glasses of wine. But, okay, now, a massive day on our calendar is the Daily News. What have you got planned?
Daily News 2000 is a Galloping Gourmet, which is we started last year, which is a marquee that we put out in front of the grandstands where we have a band playing, yes, it would be a band playing, beers on special, different food, tables, everybody can sit around. Sort of similar to what we're doing on Friday nights, but it's now under a marquee. We're also going to be having the bra zone on those days as well, because that's gone down so well.
Culinary themes seem to work with the public. I think we've got a bunch of hogs out there. They just you put the food on, we'll come and eat. I see they use it around the country, prawn days. And so you put in a marquee out, and you get the Daily News is obviously great horses.
Yes, they're involved. They're putting down about 50,000 rands worth of accommodation prizes to be won on the day, which is great. The other thing that's happening on Daily News 2000 Day is Strut Your Stuff, which is a car show which actually starts on the Friday and carries on. I think it carries on the Sunday as well. And that's organised. Strut Your Stuff. That's organised by the Elan Property Group, the guys upstairs. Yes. That's going to be also going to attract a lot of people to the race course.
The petrol heads.
The petrol heads,
yes. And you'd have a situation where you've got cars on display, I take it.
Yes, it's cars, but from what I can gather, I think it's more, I don't want to say vintage or veteran cars, but I know that their initial release in the newspaper had them standing with, I guess they're about 1945 big American cars, that sort of thing. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a modern influence in it as well.
Yeah, I know. Those are very, very good.
Just just to digress slightly, something that's very exciting that's happening on Vodacom Durban July Day is we're going to have 60 Lamborghinis and Ferraris driving down the polytrack.
Oh, we could harrow that clearly.
Yeah, so we can harrow it quickly afterwards. That's a group called the Rogue Rally. It's a group of guys who obviously have quite fancy motor cars, and they do all these organised rallies around the country every year, and this year they're ending at the Vodacom Durban July.
And who would own these? Privately owned?
They're privately owned, yes.
So that's fantastic. For the guys who like that type of thing, it's really, but everyone likes a beautiful car. It's like a beautiful horse, a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
You know, those different things. What about Ladies' Day? Are you going to fit that in
Ladies' Day, yes, that's also Daily News Day, as I understand it. I haven't been involved in that, but I think it's also in the initial stages of planning what's going to happen on that day as far as the ladies go. But definitely we wanting to do Ladies' Day. Generally, throughout the world they have them. I know at the Melbourne Cup, one of the days that is set aside is Ladies' Day.
They do it at Royal Ascot?
Yes.
And they do it, and the people really get up their fasteners and their hats and whatever, and they really look good. It gives a great picture, especially people love it when there's ladies.
Yes. I think it's one of these things that's going to take us a while to build. It won't be overnight success. But,
a point that I've found from having raced overseas and raced the Royal Ascot in Australia, that when they have Ladies' Days, they have champagne tents.
Yes.
Is that something you guys are going to consider?
Look, as I say, I'm not involved in it, but I'm pretty sure that's the type of thing that's going to be considered. They've got to do that.
It's a great combination, champagne and ladies.
And again, with Elan Property Group, they've got somehow interest with one of the wine manufacturing companies, and they also manufacture champagne or sparkling wine. So I'm pretty sure we'll get them involved on that day with the ladies.
Can these trade fairs that they have up on the floor there's always plenty of cars. Those look very good.
In the Champions Room, which is the room that Vodacom occupy on Vodacom Durban July Day, we have many of them. It's mainly many Indian trade fairs. They're here for about 2-3 weeks, selling all sorts of things. They're there full time, all day and going into the evening. Fantastic food.
Yeah, that's their strength.
I avoid it like the plague, but it's just amazing.
Yeah, it looks very good.
They're going very well.
Ken, is there anything I've left out that's coming up for you guys now over this champion season? It starts pretty soon.
Yeah, just obviously after the Vodacom Durban July, life doesn't come to an end. We have the Elan Property Group Gold Cup on the 25th of July. Yeah. We generally give away a motor car on that day.
In what form? How do you give away a car?
Well, it's a competition that we run through independent newspapers.
Okay.
And we generally will pick let's say 16, if there's 16 runners, we'll pick 16 people before the race, and then who is ever linked to the horse that wins the race wins the motor car, basically.
That's fantastic.
It goes off very well, and it gives us, because we're giving away such a big prize, we get a lot of very reasonable mileage through the newspapers, which helps us promote the event.
Talking about the media, Ken, a big race like the Vodacom Durban July attracts international media, attracts television presenters from all over the world, and it attracts media pundits from around the country. Do you have to make special allocations for these people?
Yes, I mean, we have a group of about 10 international media that come out, have been coming out now for, I think this will be the 4th year that they come out to the race. Every year it's a different group. There might be 1 or 2 that are the same, and they spread the South African word throughout the country.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as you know, South African racing is going all over the world now.
Yeah.
That was,
they used this very studio last year. They had drinks in here, and food, and they were out filming.
Studio, that's right.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, that's great. And then our local media, obviously, we get guys coming from all over the country as well. And then we have another marquee, which is on the south side of the parade ring, which is the social marquee. Sorry, yes, the social media marquee. Sorry,
social media marquee.
Yes,
it's got to be media to
right,
get
you know. And yeah, that is Jill accredits probably about 350 social media on the day.
Fantastic.
And they all.
They have stations for the iPads and
yes, Vodacom normally put in sort of equipment that they can use.
That's very good.
Which is great. Yeah, and then obviously their invite to the following year's Vodacom Durban July is very dependent on what coverage they give us.
Correct. One hand washes the other.
Yes, absolutely.
And can you say confidently that it's getting bigger and better?
It's getting better. We can't get bigger because we're restricted in size for the Vodacom Durban July. We can't go more than 55,000 people. That is our maximum. So ideally what we're doing now, and we have been doing it for the last couple of years, we have another committee called the Vodacom Durban July Experience Committee. And all that committee is tasked with is finding ways to improve the offering to people. So if we can't get more people, let's make it better for the people that are here.
Is everything on track at the moment?
Yeah, we're going well at the moment. Jam-packed with meetings today.
Excellent. Thanks very, very much for your time. I know you've got to get away.
Pleasure.
There we go. That's Ken Twaddell, who's going to make sure everything runs great for us this champion season, culminating in a great day on Vodacom Durban July Day.